And what is community is it can be a bunch of kids that and through the kids, the parents, which is the way it was for me, like our whole lives until now. It's changed because our kids are out of the house. But I loved if the kids were doing something, I was there. You could be guaranteed no matter how tired I was going to drive a pack of kids wherever they needed to be. I had an extra large vehicle so we could pile everybody and everything in it. And it gave me joy to do these things and to watch the kids do well, right? But by being there and doing that, what happens? You create community with the parents, and the parents see what you're doing and see how much you love their kids. And there are some that'll just go, great, you take care of them, I'm out. Okay. And then there's this core group that will never go away the rest of your lives if you work this thing properly and communicate with them. And here's the deal. Again, what is community? It's in the heart. This is very important. This is not something that we just grab. This is an important one to think about. This is where you align yourselves with others over common values and interests. So in teaching, here's the fun part about this for teaching. My call would go something like this to every one of the parents that I have a phone number to. Hey, this is Leovis, just checking in. I really had fun having your child in school this year. It was so fun working with them. You know, I'm a real estate agent too, right? I'm working this full time now during the summertime. I need more leads. This is how I also provide for my family, even though I love working with the kids and doing these things. I also give the same care and love to what I do in real estate. So do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell in the next 30 to 60 days? Why not go there? I mean, I can roll those calls immediately. Thank you, Leah. And so it's just, you need to come up with what works for you though. I do realize that I've been doing this for so long that the sales statements come out of me without me even really having to think about it because it's the way my brain works. And even with Chris yesterday in here, it was fun because, and I like the fact that he's been in here more now since he's full time, but we were just talking and he's doing this a lot while we're talking. And I'm like, Chris, you're doing something that you just don't do in sales. And he's like, what? He's like, what? And then I was like, the way you're moving your head when we're talking, you need to practice. Look in the mirror if you need to, because the fact of the matter is, if you're saying, hey, this is a great deal, don't you think? It really is. Versus going, what's that telling somebody? So it's just the things that I've trained on since high school. Selling Mary Gable water conditioning systems back in the day. I had fun. I sold a lot of them. But the thing is, again, the things you learn along the way, including with this, I'll roll back into this, but since I went down this trail, part of that was stand in front of the mirror in the morning. You're not feeling like working today. This is a business. Treat it like a business. Get in front of that mirror, and here's what Mary Gable told me to say. She said, stand in front of the mirror and go, I'm alive, I'm awake, and I feel great. She goes, try to keep your sour face on. And then she goes, do it again. But by the time you get to the fifth statement, you're kind of laughing and going, all right, dude, game on, right? So one of those things. And for me too, I get up in the morning, it's like, Lord, thank you for the next day. I'm just so grateful to be here. And I come here in the office, typically I'm here before everybody else. And I come in here, I'll pray over the office. It's what I do. It's what I believe in. Everybody may not believe in that as firmly, but that's where my head's at. So again, common values and interests that align. So that can be in church, right? It could very well be in church. I will tell you, I get a ton of business still from marching band parents from Lakewood Ranch. I pulled for the marching band trailers and loaded their stuff for 5 years between Jesse and Paige. And then Leah got in it 3 years after that, and I got back into it. But anyway, one of those things. And they always called me and they needed help anyway. So that's how community professionals is built, guys. It really is. So we all have values and interests of our own. It's where they overlap with others in the community that we're talking about. So, if you took and you drew a circle of yourself, you drew a circle of somebody else, and then you drew a circle of marching band. That overlap area is what I'm talking about. And it's just huge. So we've got to have those common beliefs, values, systems, interests. Yes, we can win on the internet by putting a mass statement out there. But there's still a common interest
Right.
because you've got somebody that's looking for a house. You've just provided them something that they're looking for. And if it's another agent that saw it, they're going,
Yeah.
"Wait, talk to me."
Yep.
It's a common interest. All of a sudden, we have a community, right? So now, guys, these are the things that are our sphere of influence. They're the ones that align us. People, so many people talk to me about, how do I build a bigger sphere of influence? Get involved. If you sit at home and you have your blinds drawn and the air conditioning's cranked and you feel great and you watch TV, awesome. Sounds boring to me, honestly. I couldn't do it, but it's, well, I could for 20 minutes, but it's one of those things you have to define for yourself, and you've got to figure this part out. But the big thing is, open your blinds, get out the door, look online, whatever, find out what community actions and programs are going on. Get involved. Be involved in the professional association groups. Go to the women's council meetings for our realtors. Know the other agents. And here's why. Everybody's like, why would I go to things where it's just a bunch of other agents? That seems like a waste of time. That's the way I thought when I first got into this. And then my broker at the time was Chip Hogan. He was awesome. And he said, well, Kent, the reason you go to these things isn't because you're going to learn a dang thing. I'm like, okay. He goes, but you're going to get to know these other agents. And I'm like, again, why do I care? And he goes, because say somebody has a listing and they put it on the market and it's underpriced. You and 3 other people bring them offers, and they don't know these other people. They know you. They're talking to their seller, and they can say with honesty that, hey, I know this person, and they're a person of integrity, and what they bring us will be real, and their buyer will be real, and everything they provide us will be real, which is important for people to know. There's so many people that lie in all sorts of businesses, including here, including on pre-approval letters, everything else. He said, you know what? They're gonna go, this is the agent I'd like to work with, but it's up to you. And I'm like, okay. I started going, and I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. I know a ton of people now. More people, but anyway. So messaging to your community. We've talked about this, and a lot of these things you're gonna see, we've talked about time and time again. And today, I just, when I started going over this last week, I'm like, man, am I saying the same thing? And it's like, yes, but in a different way. And we've got to drill this into all of our heads and keep it at the forefront, because we want our messaging to be clear, right? And if we're sending out blogs about the Lord and on a blog site, and everything is about the Lord, it should be clear that that's what that's about. You do a good job with that. Then over here, it's about real estate. So we separate these things, clear messaging. It's important. If you start muddling these things, it's not as clear for your audience, and you're going to lose people because they're going to go, what are they really saying? What do they want from me? And next, it took them that long to go next. And maybe not even that long. They flipped out there and said, yeah, that again. That's how quick you lose people, right? That 2-second time period. So know the core principles, and these are the ones of our office right here. And I don't know, I think it was Leah that came up with Army, or you girls did. I don't know how that worked out, but I liked it because it's our elevator speech too, right? But we have to be attentive. We need to know that and be able to share with people that we're attentive. It's about their options and focuses on their desires, not ours, right? We're resourceful. If we don't know it, have it, or whatever, we can get it, and we're going to share that with you. But the bottom line is, we most likely have it because we have a ton of resources available to us, and we have a huge database that we've built over the years now. And then for us, of course, we keep dumping it into app files and trying to build that up, because it makes you guys look better too. And it's just important for all of us. So we have the resources, and you know what? We have the market experience. Yeah, I'm going
You
to.
almost said market research.
I did.
I was like, no, that's not right.
But we have the market experience. I mean, we've been in this business for a long time. It doesn't matter whether it's a new agent that comes in here or not. They have the market experience because they have us. And to be able to reach out on a Sunday and catch me, I don't think that you can do that with too many brokerages. I think it's really odd, but the fact of the matter is, I care about you guys. I want to see you guys succeed. The only way we can do that is to share our market experience and the various things we go through. And I'm constantly learning too. That's the fun part for me, and I love to learn, obviously. So it's one of those things. And then how about your lifestyle? We've got to make sure that what we're doing is about their lifestyle, not ours. We're guiding them towards their dream, not ours. So messaging to your community, make sure it's clear. Here's the thing too. I want to separate this on the sales end now. In sales, you walk into a house, it's filthy. There's toilet paper in the corner. Somebody's underwear sticks to your foot as you step in the door. What do? No, your buyer's with you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You kick it to the side.
Yeah, you move forward.
You kick it to the side, walk in and say, hey, here's the 3-bedroom, 2-bath home we were looking at. Obviously, there's a reason it's priced the way it is. It needs a few things, but you're good with that, right? Come on, let's take a look. Reality, price point. Price point, it's a reality check. Everybody doesn't live the same. Here's the funny part. Doesn't make two shakes difference, honestly, if it's $100,000 home or $1 million home. People are people, they're gonna live the way they're gonna live.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to be able to overcome those things and make sure that we keep a very clear message out to our buyers and sellers. Of course, your message to your seller in that scenario, I'm very blunt. You need to clean your house. Would you like some name and numbers for cleaning, folks? Because to market it, honestly, I can sell it just like this, but we're gonna get a lower dollar value than if I don't. If we clean the house, I'll get you more money, we'll have more interest. Does that sound good to you? I haven't had anybody yet say no, but I have had some people go, do you think it's dirty? And you know me, I think you guys know me by now. You know, it's not as clean as it could be. It looks lived in, and we want it to look like a model home. So I try to take it away from being
How they
them
live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you soften it.
and soften it to they're used to going in brand new homes and looking at model homes. We want to represent as that, right? So it helps.
This is your competition, I think.
Right, that's it. So, that's important. Method of targeting your audience. This is what, Joey was starting to talk about again, just even Facebook, Instagram, Google. And you know, I've talked about these things, hard copy postcard. Let's make sure we understand this. When it's very expensive, I do it. I'm still very old school. I do it every month, okay? And postcards, absolutely. That's, and it's not cheap. And all it's doing is saying, hey, I'm still here. And here's where people take those. They get things out of the mail. They stand over the trash can. They go junk, 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 junk. Bill, I guess I need to keep that junk, junk.
Literally what I did yesterday.
Oh, I was thinking about selling the house.
I've done
I
this
guess-
like 7 other
I
times.
guess Kent's still here. No, they hadn't even seen the other 7
Right.
that I had sent out.
Because they weren't in
the
that
last
space.
7. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made no difference, but they saw it this time.
Yep.
And, oh, that's right. Kent's selling a home still. I forgot about that. I need to tell Susie.
Mhm.
Perfect. They work.
I mean, literally Facebook, my message.
Mhm.
I'm 2 of the people that messaged me were 2 people I texted 3 weeks ago about this house saying they weren't interested.
There you go. Isn't it great?
And 2, I'm like,
No, you smile and wave and keep moving forward.
Like,
So
okay.
again, so Facebook works.
Yeah.
Hard copy does work, but it's a very slow response typically. And again, you may never know that it's coming from this, even if you have them fill out, how did they find you, kind of things. Hand in hand approach, also my favorite. Events. Events can be, you're at school. You're going to the kids' events at school, whether your kids are in them or not, if you're working there because you care about their kids, you get to talk about parents. Have a stack of your business cards with you. Don't forget them. Bring them. Pass them out. Pass them out.
I have it in my backpack all the time.
Yep. And I know most people are scared to death of this.
Honestly, what's been better, like, since I'm doing a lot of youth stuff at the church,
Mhm.
I never bring a business card.
Okay.
I never bring a business card
Joey doesn't either.
because I want to be like, oh my gosh, I never think about work when I'm here. Can I have your number instead?
Just
Why
text
would I
me your
get them a
contact.
card instead of getting
Yeah.
all
For
of the
sure.
information?
That's very good. No, and I always do that too.
Thank
I'll
you.
ask for theirs. Yeah, but you guys that's a very good thought process. Good, good, good. And that's where, yeah, I still have. But I have plans. I have plans. Yes. How about leading special trainings? So I was talking with Chris about this yesterday too, because he was in the office and it came to mind. When you're in the office, you get the advantage of when things come to mind, I talk.
Mhm.
And this is the interesting part. Special trainings. Daphne did one in here on FHA, loan types. It's your first time buyer. So right now, it's the Hometown Heroes is the huge program out there. People get 5% of their costs covered for free. Or up to 35,000.
That goes up to 700,000 first price.
Okay, I'm at 35,000 back to into their pocket,
Mhm.
up to 700,000. That's good. So the thing is, this money's available. And I told Chris, I said, why not make up a bunch of little signs and get the other agents together and everybody do it and everybody blast out to their folks, meet here, I'll come, we'll get a lender in here. We'll have some fun with it. And, so anyway, the signs could simply say, like I used to do on short sales, this could be Hometown Hero Program Secrets Revealed. Up to $35,000 free. Something like that. Tell me that and have an arrow.
Yeah.
Tell me that doesn't make somebody go, what's a hometown hero? Okay, these are things where you can lead special trainings. You can do it here. We can do it right here. We can get folding chairs if we need to.
Go to the signs of the fire department.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And again, where are we passing out special flyers that address these things and or that just cover that item and reach out to me because I want to be your 411. Right? And how do you become somebody's 411? Well, I know all about this.
I know your stuff.
I know all about this because you are a resource. And that's important to be. So engage in local events, guys, and local events again. This can be anywhere from groups of professionals where you go and introduce yourself. Why would you not want to go where there's other business owners and business leaders? Just makes sense. And say hi. And I have high hopes for myself on this one. I haven't been to any lately because for some reason I've been busy. But there are several right here in Bradenton that I want to go to. And they're early in the morning. There's no reason I couldn't do it. I just got to drag my hiney out of bed and get there. Okay? So you have to determine where you're getting the best engagement with your audience. This is something you have to figure out. I can't figure this out for you. If I could, I'd write another book like Gary already did over here and say, hey, this is where. But the fact of the matter, even this book, as you read it, it's going to describe these similar things. How do you get these things? Well, where do you fit in? Everybody's different. Market the way it works for you. Okay? Go to the events and engagements that work for you. Moving right along. So the algorithms. This is just such an interesting thought process because it's a matter of how do you get your algorithms to line up with your messages and ping your audience, right? These are things that Joey specializes at as well. And you guys can always hire him on the side. But why does your notification garner your audience's attention? When you're sending something out, what is it really saying that grabs your audience's attention? Or your sphere of influence, we can call this different things, right? And that could be on a flyer. It could be even in what you say. When you're talking to people, the elevator speech, just as simple. You know how many agents, if somebody asks, why should we work with you? They you know, because I'm honest, I'm sincere, I do the best job I possibly can.
I know people.
I know, I've done all the training and I have access to the MLS. It's really awesome. I'd like to show you the MLS system sometime.
Yeah.
We're going.
Many people just set up home searches and then leave.
Uh-huh. And on this one again, you've got it where you can rattle off Army. And you say Army in your head, rattle these things off. And people are like, haven't heard that before. That's really different. But yeah, we have a different approach. We'd love to show you.
Yeah.
Let me know when you have time. Actually, let me open up my schedule, open up yours. Let's get a breakfast. That's me. You know, let's get together Wednesday. And if possible, how about tomorrow? The iron's hot, guys. Don't wait until 2 weeks. Do it that day.
Yeah.
Why don't we just go get a coffee right now? If you've got time, go do it. And then there's the question I didn't put in here. What are you waiting for? So if you've got their attention, what are you waiting for? And I think that a lot of people get somebody's attention and walk away feeling good about themselves. That's really good. They really enjoyed talking to me. That was a great conversation. I didn't leave the door open. Your response in your head should be, ah, crap. I didn't ask to get back in touch with them. My bad. That's, you never do that in sales. Today doesn't work. Great. Should I call you back tomorrow? No, please don't call. Okay, well, when could I maybe see you next? I'd love to talk. I know you're busy right now. I get that. And sorry for the intrusion, really am. I just wanted to see when we could get together. Why not? And apologize. That's called permission marketing, guys. So, do you need to build your own buyer or seller training course? You can. Yeah, Joey's done that too, but we've also done it.
Yeah.
And we have guides. Go to your app files
Yep.
and use them. We have buyers guides, we have sellers guides.
Yep.
They are really training guides.
Yeah.
If you hand it to them and you don't know what's in it, because you just printed it off and you haven't read and studied your own material, do your own work.
Also really easy send if you have a lead.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I actually have a guide. I just want to help you. You don't even have to use me,
Mhm.
but I just want to put this in your hands.
Yeah.
And you put a back page on the back of it. So then it's not just elements, but you have your information. attached to
Absolutely.
it, and you just email it to them.
And-
My favorite
It
thing
goes
to
right
do
through
for
app
buyers
files.
to-
It literally goes right through app files and you build their
Yeah.
profile and you can text it to them and you can do a lot of stuff. So.
And I never struggled with the fact that other agents are going to grab that and garner
Yeah.
that material for themselves and turn it into their own. So what?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, how's it work for us? And there's enough business for everybody that wants to work. So many people don't want to work. It's amazing. It just always, it floors me that people don't want to work.
But
I love
yeah.
to work.
I've also learned this. Me trying to sell someone with the same exact script that you have.
Yeah.
Is very different.
Mhm.
So just because someone
Sure.
has your information or has your ideas, it doesn't mean that they're going to execute in the way that you will. And
That's good.
so if you can have the whole roadmap.
Yep.
But you have it, it's ingrained in you, you know,
Yep.
that, you know the way to say it. You'll get this, the buyer or the seller. And if I just take it and and I can mimic it. I can have it memorized too, but it's not mine. And so it's like my sister and her like recipes, like anyone with
Mhm.
recipes, like
Yeah.
it's like you can try to mimic a recipe, but that person that made it, it's gonna taste very different than what it
I
is.
can't even mimic my own recipe.
I made a great burger recipe and now I don't even know how to make it again.
I cook from scratch every day. But the thing is that on that same thought process, I was a contractor and I love to do design build work. And that didn't mean I hired somebody else to do the design. I love design work. When I walk in the house, I can see right through the walls and I can see the space. I can tell people what'll fit where. And generally by looking at the ceiling, I do the same thing. This is where it's bearing, this is where it's not. Not that we're doing that as realtors, but.
I would never.
What I had happen is I would get underbid by another contractor sometimes. And they'd come in and do the job and the homeowner would call me and say, hey, can we come take a look at this job we had done? I'm like, I didn't do a job for you. I did one. We really were going with your ideas and it just doesn't look like what you talked about. And I'm like, you didn't have me do the job.
Right.
And can you come fix it? Not unless you want to tear the whole thing out and we start over from scratch. I'm not gonna fix somebody else's mistakes. Sometimes that would end up with a hang up, thanks anyway. Other times it'd be like, yeah, can you come over? So,
Yeah, you destroy everything.
yeah. So anyway, I mean, that's the difference in perception though of what Joy was saying with the way people perceive things differently. So what platforms are you gonna use to generate a following, guys? And the platform being, where do you work? What do you do? Where do you hang out? Are you down at Atria? Where are you? What do you do? It's got to be about your lifestyle, where you are, and the people you know. It's just so important. How about Emil? You're traveling back and forth from other countries here and there. People want to live here. You can help them. You're an expert in FERPA, right?
What?
FERPA? No, okay. I want you to, we'll talk later. It's about having a foreign buyer and foreign sellers, and it's called FERPA.
Actually,
I always say it wrong, FERPA. I call it FERPA. How about foreign buyers and sellers?
Yeah, that is good.
Okay, perfect. Yep, so again, take that and plug it in, come up with something that works to where you can bring these people over that wanna be here and help them buy a home. It's fun, and they want your help, cause you speak their languages.
That is, usually that is connected to the sellers or to the buyers,
Mm.
the seller.
For the tax purposes, but people that are buying need to know, okay? Because I just had a seller that had to write a check for $85,000 to the government.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, okay, so, I think the big thing is to start with what you're familiar with.
Yes, yes.
And again, as I always say, and what you will do. If you were actually to create a tour, what would you do? So now, let's talk about tours. If you're touring properties, and you should be on a daily, weekly basis, what are you doing with it? It should be scheduled, and it's things that you should be pumping out on your social media and able to tell people about. Do you know the new home market? About the time I do, and I'm like, I got it. It's like, can you show me this community? I'm like, where's that? But there's so many communities going in.
Yeah.
If we don't keep track of them nonstop, we won't know them. And we have to know, and we not only have to know the communities, we need to know their prices. We need to know who's dropping prices where, because if we don't, somebody else will, and they'll get that sale. They're gonna eat, you're not. It's important. So tour properties yourself. And, if it's your target area, then you really want to tour, properties that are even other agents' listings. And, you preview it. So ultimate objective, be the local expert. Your friends and followers, they want to come to you for information. They just don't know it yet. But the more you're in a group, heck, I walk by people now. Of course, I'm getting older now, so hey, grandpa, come here. No, I'm not a grandpa yet. I need help with that. But anyway,
Not yet.
What does happen is I'll walk by groups, and if they're talking about real estate, even if there's another realtor in the group, oftentimes like, hey, Ken, come here, we got a question. Sure, what can I do for you? And you see this other agent look at me going, I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? What can I answer for you guys? And I realize you're working with whatever they are, and then why wouldn't you turn your back to them a little bit and talk to the group? Or, for me, everybody, let's talk about it. Tell you how I can help. Tell you how I can help them too, if they talk to me. Right? So, these are things we do, but be the pro. People want to join those conversations. This is the thing you need to know. People want to join your conversations about this. They do. You have products and services, others have to perceive value, in them. So you know your products and services, right? Let me read my own line. To have products and services that others perceive as a value to them. It's a great statement. It really is. Now that I just read it, but the thing is, you have those products, you have that service, you have that knowledge, but other people need to know it. Their perception has to become that you're the value in this scenario, that you know your stuff. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how young you are, it matters what you know, and that's what they want to hear, okay? If you don't lay out the full bundle of services that you provide, someone else will win your business. This is easy, and that's where we were talking about the person that fumbles on what's different about you, what's different about your approach. I know a million agents. My best friend's an agent. Okay, but let me tell you what we do. It's different. And it is, okay? Always use a call to action statement. Don't forget this. This is huge. Call me, let's talk, text me. Just takes conversation. Looking forward to talking with you. Something that tells them that you actually wanted to hear from them. You want to talk to them, okay? It's going to be different from one agent to another, of course, and how this is done. But sketch it out for yourself. Have a plan. Again, this is a business, guys. If we don't have a business plan, let's back it up, make it personal. If we don't have a personal budget, how do we know how to hit the targets of our goals? We don't. So what happens? We spend an extra, what is it? I think it's $13.72 a day. And at the end of the year, we can't go on that $5,000 vacation because we had coffee and a donut every day of the week. Instead of buying a piece of bread and making our own sandwiches, we had lunches out every day. And then we can't do the thing we wanted to do. I'm not saying don't do it here and there. I'm just saying, have your targets and your goals in mind, right? Have a plan, sketch it out. I'm working on it again right now for the business and for me personally. This is a constant. This isn't a do it once and put it in a folder because I did it. This is one of those things that you look at. It's kind of like, if you want this fancy car and you put a picture of it on your desk, that's a goal for you and that's what you're working for. Thank you. Leah's pointing at my time for me. I appreciate that. So, but sketch out that plan, guys. Be referral worthy. Ask yourself this. Would you refer yourself? Huh? And if not, fix it.
Yeah.
Because it's simply a matter of you're not giving them a value. You're not letting them perceive the value that you truly are. You guys are at this point. I mean, let's face it, you guys have trained and trained and trained, and you guys know your stuff, and you constantly are learning. But the thing is, we can also learn to the point where we have analysis paralysis and we're not just doing. So at some point, do it. You'll screw it up. That's okay, but do it. Yeah, do it. And you'll learn. Yeah. So prospect in every way that you can and get listings. Those that list will last, and don't forget them. As a buyer's agent, yes, you'll get paid faster by that buyer. As a listing agent, sometimes you'll get paid just fast, sometimes you won't. But the fact of the matter is, after the listing, you now have everybody else in the entire MLS system working for you. And what a beautiful scenario to be in, right? All right. I hope I don't have a whole lot more. How do you distinguish yourself from the crowd? Capture your community. Do you use the universal sales proposition, the UPS? And that's, again, that also, for us, it surrounds the Army thought process. But you can have your own. What makes you special? I'm a teacher, and I do boom. What? Who are you? I asked my kids this question 100 times growing up. Who are you? This isn't what you do. The who is different from what. Okay? And you need to figure out how to separate those two. And then, the other important thing is your why. Why do I do it? Why did you get into this business to start with? If you're having a rough day, ask yourself, why did I get in this business in the first place? And that's not to have a negative. It's because I wanted to do this. Okay, so do it. Question is, benefit of your services is it your look? This is interesting. I'm not going to go any further. Do you smile? Is it your dress wear? What is it? Why do people want to talk to you? What's the benefit of working with you? You think you're prettier than the next person, so that's why they're going to work with you. Typically, it's your level of knowledge. It's just really your level of knowledge. Your level of knowledge about the communities, what inventory is available, your knowledge of loan products that fit various types of buyers. You monitor our market and help others make informed decisions. That's what we're there for. We're the 411. Even if they decide to work with another agent and they call you and ask your opinion on something, talk to them. Don't be offended. Be honored that they called you and let them know, hey, I know you're working with so-and-so, but I'm really honored you called me. Here's my opinion. It's just my opinion. But, this is all I do all day, every day, and how I support my family. If something changes, I'd love to help you out too. Or those with young kids, my favorite line, and it's not just a line, it's reality. Look, this is all I do all day, every day, and it's the way I support my wife and kids and family and kids. Okay? You help buyers and sellers maintain a long-term view of their own goals, to strategize how to reach them by careful planning. Sit down and work through it with them and help them to have a positive position to be able to react to the market, right? So if you're working with a young couple that has never had a budget, I personally feel that it's part of our job to show them a budget. We have those in app files as well. It's simple budgeting, and it really paints a picture for people. It's not that a lender says, yes, you can afford this payment based on your debt to income ratio. Somebody gets into that and goes, well, you can afford it, but I can't afford my truck now. What just happened? I can't put furniture in the house?
House poor.
We need to eat. Oh my gosh, I can't go on any vacations anymore. Your house poor. Yep. So you have to have a customizable plan that starts off simple and develops to in-depth as your buyers and sellers need it to. This is also the same with a marketing plan, guys. Starts out simple. If the home sells, great, you don't have to do the rest. But if you lay out a marketing plan to a seller, you better honor that marketing plan. If you say you're going to send out postcards, to number of buyers you got there, you better send them out. Check off the things, verify for yourself. So I guarantee you, your seller's not gonna look at that until the house isn't selling. And then they're gonna go, well, you didn't do what you told me to do. Versus if you said, hey, let's just sit down and look at the plan. This, I've done this, 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 and this, it's just here. And again, remember I told you the price we were shooting for was a little higher than the market. I think it's probably time for a price adjustment. Help them, or a price improvement, there it is. So, master your trade, guys. I now have 6 minutes on it. Master your trade. Know how to validate yourself and your industry. You know, why do people need realtors? Simple. You need to know how to point these things out to people. Have those great big long lists of, if you want to do it yourself, here's what you got to do. Let me help you out because I'll provide you with what you need to do. Right? But be a pro. Run your business like a business. Be educated. You've got to be skilled with the tools that you have at your access. You need to know how to run your app files. You need to know how to run your MLS system. You need to know how to do your CMAs for people. You need to know your inventory. It's huge. So these are all your tools. Inventory is a tool. You need to know how to overcome others' objections. Is this not all in app files, y'all? If you go in there, you're going to find in our scripts overcoming objections from buyers and sellers. I've had a lot of you guys ask me, well, what do I do if they say this? You know, it tells me that you haven't looked at the app files and you haven't pulled up the section that talks about objections. I typically don't say, hey, just go look here. I'll tell you how to overcome it, but then I think I will say, hey, it helps to look at our scripts. You got to be engaging, right? Here's what doesn't work, guys. You know, I think that I could really help you if you wanted to work with me. You know, I'd love to. I'd love to work with you too. Would you like to do that? Not gonna work. Right, Leah? Yeah, you look people dead in the eye and you get their attention and you let them know that I'm willing to look you dead in the eye because what I'm telling you is the truth and this is what you need to hear. And why am I telling you the truth? Because I care. And now we're moving forward and they're gonna look forward to working with you. That's being engaging. You gotta know your sales strategies as well. I hear so many of these trainings say that we're not salespeople. They're wrong. We are salespeople. You have to know your sales strategies because the bottom line is if we don't sell them a home, we're not helping them get what they want. They're disappointed. They leave, they didn't get the house. They're gonna go to somebody else. Man, they failed me.
Yep.
You gotta know how to sell, which means you also need to know how to work with other agents. You communicate with the agent on the other side. If it's a listing agent and you have the seller, talk to that other listing agent. What do we have to do to put a deal together, man? Help me. Does that not confuse people? I don't like getting the deer in the headlights look of, I should talk to the other agent? Yeah, of course you should. See what has to happen to make this work. And then they go back and talk to their seller, you go back and talk to your buyer, try and put a deal together, make it work. Not saying we're disclosing things we shouldn't, just saying we can help each other. You must desire to be successful at helping others attain what they want. If you do this, you'll get what you want. It just may not be in the timing that you want. Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry. Okay, now we're gonna hustle. Next level. You need to be sure that you love communicating with your community or they'll know you're faking it and or catch on. You can't help others up to their next level without knowing what questions to ask and to be able to help them. The next level is all about organizing, prioritizing, focus, and discipline to do it. Use your phone. If it's not ringing, the calls work both ways. You make a sale, share it with your community and your sphere. Let them know what you're doing. Stretch it out on every form of marketing you can. Blast it out there. Make it about the first meeting when you first met these people. Then you got into this home search. You found these perfect homes. You had to tour through all these homes and you lined up all these showings and you were available for your buyers when they wanted to be. Man, it was a weekend and they wanted to make a low ball offer, but what do? You present that offer to the best light possible. Losing the opportunity to purchase, let them know now that they're now going to be fully prepared for the next time because they lost that one. That's a drag when they don't listen to you, but it happens. And then you tie up a home in contract. Smooth closing. Since you have a strategy and plan, get your buyers to the closing table. That's what happens. You'll get them there. If you don't have a plan and a strategy to do that, you won't. Okay? So constantly learn and share. To wrap up this training, I just want to be sure each of you is constantly learning. Continue to visit new communities, guys. Visit your competitors' listings as a preview or get with someone else's tour, to tour them with you. Have them be your buyer for the day. I'm always here for your questions to help guide you through the shifts in our market. We are going through a shift right now. Again, there's no doubt about it, but we can work right through it. Ignore the bad news, focus on the good news. I guarantee you, if you look at the folks that have been in this a long time, that use it to provide for their families, all of them are still in the trenches and they're still working, they're still making money at it. How? They're doing the same thing. They're just working. So I love this though. Taste of your own medicine, and we're gonna wrap this up. Oh my gosh, I hit 10:30.
I'm impressed.
Taste of your own medicine.
Every use let me get.
Yeah, but taste of your own medicine. Don't give them a taste of their own medicine. I love this. They already know what it tastes like. Give them a taste of your own medicine. If they lied, let your medicine be honesty. If they played with your emotions, let your medicine be maturity. If they broke you, let your medicine heal. If they made you cry, let your medicine make them smile. These remedies are ways that they may take years, but they work. So they last. So be patient. Stay true to yourself. And remember this, it's better for people to value who you are, not for who you pretend to be. You who are, can't read it right, who you are lasts a lifetime. You who pretends,
You pretend to be changes like the change of seasons.
go Leah, keep going.
Don't be afraid to be yourself, even if it means removing yourself from lives that you wanted to be in. You are no doubt worthy of being valued for who you are, so be who you are.
Right, and I can't begin to say this guy's name,
Noah.
Noah
Now as it is.
Navzabian.
My
But anyway,
guess is Noah.
this, to me, it's interesting because to me, this sounds biblical. And, you know, one of my best friends, actually my best friend, caught me when we were out to eat and it was my turn, well, very realistic, I have to grab the bill to be able to pay. But it was tip time and the waitress was terrible. And I said, man, I don't know what to tip this girl, man, she was just awful. And, I just laughed and he goes, oh, this is simple. He goes, tip on who you are, not on the service you receive, and do that every time. And I'm like, wow. Right up there was one of my other best friends slapping me in the back of the head when it came to tithing and going, why would you not challenge God in the one area he tells you to? That's it, guys. I hope you have a great week.